how do you know if you love yourself at a core foundational level? I was going on my daily walk today and that question popped into my mind, and we're gonna talk about it. I'm Sue Haiti and this is Astro Haiti, and I share my views on conscious manifesting, self-awareness, self-love, self-concept, and everything that we need to create and live our best life. So how do you know? How do you know if you truly love yourself deeply? Not at the surface level, but at a deep core foundational level. And there is a difference, right? So when I was an adolescent, I started like really diving into personal development and especially self-love, because even though I would constantly say to myself, oh, I love myself, I love this about me and that about me, of course I'm amazing, I found myself constantly in romantic relationships being triggered and being really afraid of not being chosen, not being committed to, not being loved, not being good enough, etc., etc. So I went to therapy and I did all the things that I felt that I needed to do to really love myself and fall in love with myself. And it really wasn't until 46 years old, that is the age that I am now, that I can really say that I am in love with myself and truly love myself at a core foundational level. So how do you know? How do you know if the way you love yourself is genuinely real, or it's all a facade or things that you tell yourself? For me, my first indication that I didn't really love myself in the way that I needed to was that I had really fearful thoughts in relationships. So the guy could have shown me the world and treated me right, but if there was anything that he would have done or said that was a hint of them maybe leaving me or not being into me, I held on to it, and my mind, my thoughts would just go on loop. Really, again, that mindset piece of worrying if this person really liked me, worrying if this man was going to show up for me, be consistent, stay with me, commit to me, and also really a lot of fear, wondering if the man was going to leave me, meet someone else, okay? And even if the guy didn't really do anything to get me to those really fearful thoughts, because I didn't really love myself and didn't feel like I was worthy and deserving of that love, or that I was good enough, the fear kicked in as soon as I saw anything that could have indicated that, right? So my perception was that of a woman who didn't fully love herself. So I didn't really grasp how someone could love me, right? And this was all subconscious. I wasn't aware of this while it was happening, right? The second indication that I didn't really love myself that you can maybe resonate with is my feeling state. So I would think all these fearful thoughts, and then whenever the guy I was dating would say something, or maybe like forget to text me, or got really busy, or reschedule a date, I would start having these thoughts and then emotionally react. I would cry, y'all. Like I would cry, and I think back and I'm like, what the hell was wrong with me? I know what was wrong with me. I didn't feel worthy and deserving of love. I didn't fully really love myself. So I didn't think anyone could be capable of loving me as much as I wanted to be loved. So I would just, any little thing, be destroyed over anything that felt like a possible rejection, right? So the thoughts would start, you know, and then the feelings, because that's what happens, our thoughts create our feeling state. My feelings reacted to those scary, fearful, worrisome thoughts. So I would remember, like literally a guy saying something to me that I was dating very innocently, and then getting off the phone or like coming home after our date, and like thoughts, fear, started crying, like hyperventilating, anxious. And then the next time I would see the person and they would like maybe retract what they said or be normal, it was like, oh yeah, nothing happens. Like, because it was just so reactionary based on those fearful thoughts, based on my subconscious belief that I wasn't lovable. So that is the second indication that you maybe don't love yourself at a deep core foundational level. The third indication for me was then my patterns, right? So I continued to kind of fall into relationships with men romantically that continued to reaffirm that I wasn't good enough, and that I wasn't chosen, and that I wasn't lovable enough, right? So instead of breaking dynamics and patterns and reacting in different ways and feeling differently with every guy. It didn't matter who it was like a cycle. I was still showing up fear, reactionary, crying, upset, and then muting myself, acting like I was okay. And then it was just a cycle. And then what would happen was, which is what happens in manifestation, is that if you are identifying as someone who is unlovable or good enough, you start create dynamics where that is projected, right? So like it's a mirror. The person you're with becomes your mirror. So guys wouldn't commit to me, or guys would really like me and then flake, or guys would be like, I really want to be with you, but I don't know why you don't get it, right? Like you're good enough. So I've even had men in my past tell me, that's the fourth indication, when someone that you're dating is actually telling you, hey, I actually want to be with you. I think you're amazing, and you just don't believe it. Like, why would they want to be with me? That is because at a core foundational level, you are not fully in love with yourself, and therefore not believing that you are deserving of that type of love. So for me, all these things came into play for a really long time, and I had to truly get honest with myself about why I was experiencing the relationships that I was experiencing, choosing the men that I was choosing, behaving the way I was behaving, feeling the way I was feeling, and also continuing relationship dynamics that were unhealthy and toxic. And it's because I didn't love myself at a foundational level. So how do you know you love yourself? All of these things fall into place. It all happens simultaneously, especially when you're dating or in a relationship already, and you start to notice these cycles and patterns and feel really stuck and usually really scared to mess up, walking on eggshells, and really fully, truly not being your authentic self, okay? Because when you truly love yourself, you show up as you are, and if someone doesn't want to be with you, you're like, okay, this hurts and this is sad, but I'll be fine because I'm amazing. So that is the last note. If you are in a relationship or you have patterns where you're constantly begging, constantly chasing someone to want to be with you and choose you, right? If you are exhibiting those behaviors because of your fears, because of your feeling state of being distraught and desperate and needy, it's not about the person. It's about you not feeling worthy and deserving of love because you do not love yourself at a core foundational level. And you can change this. Stick around. I am going to share how I went from not fully loving myself, just loving myself on that conscious level of like, yeah, I'm great, I'm amazing, of course I love myself, to falling in love with myself, for the first time in 46 years. So I cannot wait to share that. I will see you next time.